Welcome back to THE Network. Today I'm joined by Misty James for a Talent Spotlight. So Misty, we met about 15 years ago. It was Karen Lee from ELLE Model Management that introduced us.
Yes.
You were relocating from New York. Can you tell us what brought you to Washington, D.C.?
Well, I have family in this area, so when I wanted to move from New York, this was the area that I decided to go to, and Karen said, when you move to DC, you have to contact Linda at the artist agency and start becoming a testing photographer. And I contacted you, and we've been working consistently together for 14 years.
So what I loved the most about the introduction was that you understood how juniors needed to be shot. Like,
Yes.
Absolutely. Clean beauty, raw images. You didn't come with an entourage. It was extremely important to keep the new junior models comfortable and at ease, and you did that beautifully. So you originally started in modeling. How did you become a model?
I became a model. I won a contest for 17 magazine, and I'm from a little town in Georgia, like you are. So when I won the contest for 17 magazine, it was kind of a big deal, and the radio station did an interview with me. And Michael Stothard, who is the son of Arlene Wilson, heard my radio interview, and he called me in to come meet the agency. So probably if that hadn't happened, I may not be here today. So I have a big thanks to give to them for that. And I started modeling in Atlanta locally. Then, as models can do, I then went to New York for a few months, and then I started traveling all around the world. I've lived in 7 countries as a model. I feel very lucky and very fortunate to have had the experience, and very lucky to be where I am today, helping young models get their start.
So what was it like traveling through the world? Like, what can you tell us as far as the difference in the markets and what to anticipate for the up-and-coming models?
Well, every market is very different. So you will arrive in the market and you have your agency that's taking care of you while you're there. And the one thing that is difficult, which is probably easier for models now, is I would get to a foreign country and just have a map, and no phone. There was none of the GPS to get me anywhere. So one of the difficult things is probably just navigating in a foreign country. Being in Athens, Greece, and things are in Greek, literally on the map. So it was very difficult. Traveling and being away from your family is difficult, but you meet lots of models, and you become friends with them, and you go on your castings together, and it's really a beautiful experience. But the hardest thing is, I think, being away from your family and just kind of being alone.
So one of the most frequently asked questions that I get in open call when we're interviewing new talent is, can I work in other markets? What would your advice be for them?
My first advice to new models is that they get their start locally, with an agency locally. So, for instance, our DC models are very lucky because in this market we have quality magazines, we have a lot of great jobs, a lot of great photographers where they can build their books. They're all different paths that models can take. There are models that want to stay here in DC and make their career, and we have wonderful shows that are happening all the time, great magazines, and then there are models that would like to do something more, which is maybe travel to New York or travel to Europe. And I have connections still. I've been in the business for 27 years, and I still have friends that are in agencies all over the world. One of my best model friends actually started her own agency in London, Milk Model Management, and it's one of the top agencies in the world now.
So let's talk about how you transitioned from being a model to becoming a photographer.
This is my favorite thing to talk about because I was a model, and I would go around always with my little point and shoot camera, and I would just take pictures of my friends all the time, and they would say, "Misty, that's the best picture everyone's taken of me." And I'm like, you know what, maybe I can do this. So I went to my agency at the time, which was Wilhelmina, and I asked them to give me a model to shoot. And my very first test, my photo went on the front and the back of the model's card. And honestly, I never looked back from there. I love working with models. It's my passion. I love working with brand new models who have never been in front of the camera before. I love when they bring their moms. I love when they ask me 10,000 questions about the business. I never tire of answering it. It's just, I love when I take someone's picture and they tell me that that's the best picture they've ever had taken of themselves. It just makes me feel very, very good.
So you began as a model, you transitioned into photography, you became an absolute natural at advising models, and you segued right into being a model manager. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Honestly, it's always been my dream to manage models and help girls in their career. So it was really, I mean, thank goodness for THE, because you gave me the opportunity to do that when I begged you. Please let me do something. I love it. It's my passion. It always has been. Even when I was a model, even as a photographer, my true dream was to be a model manager and help young models on their career paths. It's always been my dream.
So Misty, can you tell us what is a mother agent?
A mother agent is usually the very first agency that a model will go with. It's the very first agency that gets your testing, helps you start building your book, and a mother agency basically watches over you. So if you would like to stay in your local market and work, it's your mother agent's job to have you working in that market. If you would like to branch out in other markets in the USA, it's their job as well to help you do that. If you would like to go to Europe and branch out in other markets in the world, it's your mother agency's job to have connections and keep those connections open so they can send models traveling. And the common misconception is that it costs extra money to have a mother agent. This is not true. The money comes from, if we send a model to New York and the agency takes 20%, they send us back 10%.
And that doesn't come out of the
It does
talent.
not come out of the model's pay. So
Okay.
really, it's only a benefit to have a mother agent. So you have someone taking care of you when you're traveling, especially in Europe, when you're going to be alone a lot of the times. It's nice to have someone to call.
Well, I think everyone needs a mother agency
Yeah.
if they're going, or a mother
You have
agent if they're traveling overseas or anywhere. I mean, it's
Very
somebody
important.
needs to be watching over.
It's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Misty, thank you for joining us today and sharing your story. I cannot wait to see the tutorial that will be filmed and really giving people who are interested in becoming models an idea of what your first test should look like.
Right, I'm excited.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to THE Network. To become an insider, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or comments, please post them. Let the beauty begin.